that there is a proper way of becoming a citizen to the Bahamas, and that the pathway is there for them.
You said there's a tension between Bahamians and Haitian Bahamians, but there's still Bahamians as well.
But
that puts a whole other can of worms. I'm glad you said it. I didn't say it, but I'm glad you said it.
So,
go ahead.
I guess it's discrimination that, I guess it's a way of life and human nature that we deal with discrimination against one person and the next. But we must remember that as immigrants, they come here searching for opportunity, as you say. Now, if I came here to search for an opportunity, I'd do anything to get ahead. So you have some illegal immigrants, I will say immigrants, that garden and they do different menial tasks, low-wage tasks.
That Bahamians aren't willing to do.
That Bahamians are not willing to do.
Okay.
And therefore they come here and they speak one language, but when they come, they learn another as well. So therefore they're ahead of us by two ways, because you have the unemployed that prefer not to do the low-wage task, and also they learn a second language. Therefore that makes them 2 steps ahead of us while we're still down.
Interesting point what he said, that is being ahead of us. Let me say this. You know, we've heard it for years that illegal immigrants, especially, you know, as a country we allow free education.
Right.
They're taking advantage of that.
Of course.
In tremendous ways of being ahead of Bahamian students in college.
Who takes advantage of free education.
So we have immigrants who are leading the pack over Bahamian students in public schools. So it would be good if they extend after taking advantage of that free education, that they could contribute to the country development. It would be good on that end.
Now, I'm glad you brought that in, because there is a segment of our population, children of Haitian parentage who are born in the Bahamas, who cannot apply for citizenship till the age of 18, and then still there's no guarantee. Many of them have reached sometime late 20s, 30s, and are unable to take advantage of opportunities and do certain things because they do not have citizenship in this country, and certainly are not able to claim Haitian citizenship. They're born here and spend all their lives here. And that has created a generation of individuals who are very angry, who feel very displaced and marginalized. And when you talk about tension, that has created a lot of tension in communities. How do we address that?
Well, you say that they were born here, right? But like the songwriter says, if you're born there, you're born there.
Bahamians don't see it as that.
But the thing is, they're still Bahamians. Like I said in the last point, a Haitian Bahamian and a Bahamian, they're still half Bahamian, and they're actually born here. So actually, I think they deserve the citizenship right to actually live in our country and do the things we do. They shouldn't be discriminated against.
I think the argument is this: if you are born to two legal parents in the Bahamas, how do we consider granting you citizenship after being born to two illegal parents? And that's the argument that Bahamians make. If you come into the country illegal, both of the parents are illegal, how do we then grant you citizenship? And that's the argument. The thing is, the process that after I've been in the Bahamas for over 18 years, and I've contributed to the development of this country. I have achieved good grades through your educational system. I've done an excellent job at school.
I ain't been to jail.
You didn't go to jail. So at the end of the day, after I've contributed all my efforts to this country, you tell me that as of yet I cannot be granted citizenship in this country, and that would, if it was me, I would be frustrated as well after a long period of time. So it does show that the process, the process of legalizing immigrants is
for children of immigrants.
Like he said, if I've contributed what I've had and given it to the country, getting good grades and never been to jail, you must provide me with what is mine. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way it is.
But you have a large segment of Bahamians out there who will disagree with that and kind of stand firm. And I brought it up because it's one of those issues that rears its head every so often. It's always one of those underlying issues. But certainly every once in a while it crescendos and we have sort of an explosion. I think we're seeing bits and pieces of that coming to the fore. Now, gentlemen, we've got to take one final break in the show, but we've got lots more to talk about. So we're going to invite the audience. Stand by. Sawyer will is back right after this.
Prime Minister, if he's so confident about winning the next election, ring it now. Ring it now. Ring it now. And he failed to answer that. I said, if you're not that confident then, at least give us the date of the election. Because only one man knoweth the election, according to the Prime Minister. That is going to change. When we become the government, it's going to be a democratic system where everybody will know the date of the election.
Brandon McCartney speaking there at the opening of the party Seabreeze constituency office over the weekend, sending out a challenge to the Prime Minister to name the date of the election. And before we get to that part, I do want to talk about Brandon McCartney and the DNA factor, I call it, in these upcoming elections. And really, I don't know whether people want to, how many people will admit it or want to, but really the DNA has become a factor in these elections.
Well, look, the question is not whether Brandon McCartney is ready, because Brandon McCartney is ready. The question is whether the Bahamas is ready for Brandon McCartney, because Brandon McCartney is ready. The DNA has been a game changer. Everywhere I go, I see a DNA ban, or I'm going green. So this is a concern for both political parties, whether they want to take it serious or not. We could joke about it, but when May 2nd is called, that this political party will...
You said May 2nd. You know something. You mean when the election is called?
Election is called.
Okay, all right.
When the election is called, that the DNA will be a game changer in the Bahamas. Whether they will make the vote margin slim, or whether they would even want to see. We have heard even some rumors that they're going to be the next opposition, but we have to wait to see about the DNA.
I'm very curious about some of the discussions some of your Facebook members may have relative to the DNA, Mr. McCartney, and even some of his candidates who have come under some heavy criticism.
Well, a lot of the youth that are on the page, their parents may be red or yellow, but they say they go green, you see? So therefore, Mr. McCartney has the support of a lot of young people. Like I said, I think it's because he brings something new to the table, and also being youthful himself, they find it to be change, where they think that it's going to actually be better for the country to see new faces. And you know, like Sammy Starr runs in the South Beach constituency.
And there's been a lot of criticism. People say, oh, he shouldn't be running, he's an entertainer.
Exactly.
Let me say this. The thing about the DNA, the Bahamas is in... we are in an economic crisis. Crime is spiraling out of control. We have to ensure that any government we vote for is prepared to meet these challenges. So it is, at this time, you have to ask yourself, if you're a voter, trying something new involves taking a risk. Will we continue on the path of the government? Will we vote for the PLP who has proven themselves in certain situations? Or will we take something new? But I think, Mr. Sawyer, that the Bahamians are frustrated, and if Brandon is still around in maybe 2017, that he might have a possibility of becoming that Prime Minister.
So you don't think his chances this time around are too good?
Well, in it would have been about 72 young men like Cylinder Pinling and Samilo Butler and Arthur D. Hanna. Those guys, they took chance at actually...
You mean 67?
Right, 67, sorry. And they took chance at actually presenting themselves in front of the Bahamian people as the next generation to govern the country. And when we see down in 1973 what had happened. So I think a lot of the youth now are actually saying to themselves, well, you know, it happened in 67, 1973. It can then again happen in 2012.
You know, I am open to see. If I will say this. I am open to see the DNA one or two seats just to change the scape
The vibe, yes.
of Parliament, so we can have a neutral voice inside. And I think Mr. McCarthy's doing a good job thus far in Parliament as an independent. So we, if in fact that even we could win 2 or 1 seats, it would be good to have a neutral voice inside Parliament.
A wake-up call.
I'm going to talk party specific for a moment as we head into the last few moments of the show. A lot of people seem to be disenfranchised or unhappy with the Free National Movement. Is there a time for recovery for the party at this point? And I want you to speak to some of the things that some of your members are saying, or some of the people that you talk to are saying.
Well, we will admit this, that being in the government is a difficult job.
And this has been a difficult time to be
Yes,
government. I can't run away from that. This has been a tough time to be government.
So we have to look at this. The government was confronted with the worst economic crisis that has hit the Bahamas in a long time. Crime is out of control. This government has taken shellac, and I think it's a huge challenge. So, as of now, I think if the FNM was to lose this election, it's time to go to the drawing table of who is going to be the new generation of Free National Movement leaders, because we could speak to that. Tommy Turner has tried. He's offered himself leadership, and he was unsuccessful in doing so. The Prime Minister came back, showing that the party still has confidence in his leadership. So, for both parties, if they were to lose this election, it calls for major reconstruction of the both political parties.
And you say, let's discuss the PLP factor for a moment. I mean, people are, there are voters who are unhappy with the FNM. Are they that unhappy that they will go back to the PLP or give their support to the PLP? Does the PLP have the momentum to become government at this point?
Interesting fact. Let me just say this: in the 2000 or in the Elizabeth by-election, we felt that the PLP had an edge. At the end of the day, it was a 50-50. So I think that despite frustrations, that this election is still up in the air. So.